2019, visitors packed into Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee, taking advantage of a beautiful day. Everything was calm until a mother bear and her cubs suddenly stepped out of the woods and began crossing the road toward the opposite side of the forest. Unfortunately, their path led directly through a crowded parking lot. The correct response would have been simple: stay inside the vehicles and allow the bears to pass undisturbed. This was, after all, a national park. But one man seemed to believe he could take control of the situation himself. Whether fueled by overconfidence or poor judgment, he decided to intervene, and what followed nearly ended in disaster.
That's not a bad idea. Maybe stay.
The man began speaking to the bear and waving his arms, as if she might somehow understand him. He even moved closer to her cubs, seemingly unaware of just how dangerous that decision was. The situation could have turned deadly in seconds. Instead, the bear responded with a bluff charge, a powerful warning meant to show that she was fully capable of attacking if she chose to. It's possible the man thought he was helping. He may have believed he was keeping the cubs from wandering into traffic where they could be struck by cars. But that is never the right way to handle an encounter like this. Approaching a mother bear's cubs is one of the most dangerous mistakes a person can make. Mother bears are fiercely protective, and their reactions can be sudden and violent. If someone doesn't understand these basic rules of wildlife safety, they have no business putting themselves in environments where encounters with animals like bears are not just possible, but likely. Stan Mills is a YouTuber known for filming wildlife and sharing those encounters with his audience. Most of the time, he does so responsibly, keeping his distance and avoiding unnecessary risks. But in one particular video, the outcome could have been very different. The week before, Stan had visited Yellowstone with a group and was excited to spot several bears. Still, that wasn't enough. He wanted more. He hoped to see and film a grizzly. So in June 2025, he returned alone, determined to capture that moment, and he succeeded.
There's a grizzly right there in the dark. Huge grizzly, right up ahead of me. I'm going to head back down the hill. Oh, he's coming towards me.
What he didn't expect was just how terrifying it would be. There's something deeply unsettling about locking eyes with a grizzly at close range, then watching it fade into the darkness, knowing it could still be nearby or moving closer. Unsure of the bear's exact position, Stan began heading downhill, forcing himself to stay calm. That composure is what makes the scene so disturbing. At one point, the bear rises onto its hind legs, trying to get a better view. That single image is enough to send chills down anyone's spine.
So I'm about 2 miles away from where I saw that bear. I'm heading off trail. That bear, I think, will come this way, even though he was zigzagging back and forth, coming towards me on that trail. So I think he'll turn around and head back this way, so I may see him again later today.
Fortunately, Stan slowly backed away, creating distance without provoking the animal or triggering an aggressive response. In the wild, situations can shift in an instant. A bear's behavior depends on countless factors: its mood, whether it's hungry, or if it feels threatened. That's why approaching one alone is almost never a good idea. Stan is experienced and clearly understood what he was facing. He likely carried bear spray and knew the importance of remaining calm. But many people in that same situation would panic, running, screaming, or making sudden movements. And those reactions are exactly what can turn a tense encounter into a deadly one. Sudden movement can trigger a chase instinct, and with a grizzly, that's a risk no one should take. Encounters like this are incredibly dangerous, and survival is never guaranteed. On October 7th, 2025, a man named Keith Curbs uploaded a video he claimed was filmed in Yellowstone National Park. The clip quickly ignited controversy, largely because no one can say for certain what truly happened. What we do know is that the footage shows a man standing in an open field, filmed from far away and heavily zoomed in, slowly retreating as 5 wolves linger nearby. As you might expect, the situation feels extremely tense from the start.
Go ahead and start running, dude. Look at that one coming down the trail there. Ooh, this could end very badly for that guy.
Yeah, you think?
No, he's walking right back. Look at that.
Wow.
At one point in the video, the man appears to move closer to the wolves. That moment sparked backlash online, with many accusing him of being reckless or trying to show off his bravery. But the reality isn't that simple. There are a couple of possible explanations. He may have deliberately approached the pack, which would be an incredibly dangerous decision. Or he could have been hiking along a trail and unexpectedly crossed paths with them. As the encounter unfolds, the man turns to face the wolves and deploys bear spray in an effort to keep them at bay. However, it doesn't seem to have much effect.
This is insane.
He's spraying bear spray.
Did he?
Yeah. But he's gonna run out of that really quick.
Yeah, you will. Somebody over there had to have called law enforcement by now. I can't see the guy anymore.
I know, I can't either.
That little ravine right there.
As the tension escalates, he eventually retreats into a shallow ravine, using it as a last line of defense. The video cuts off at that point, leaving viewers without answers about what happened next. What we do know is that the man survived the encounter without injury. That raises an important question. Did he approach the wolves intentionally, or was this an unfortunate accident? Looking closely at the opening moments of the footage, the man is slowly backing away, which suggests the wolves may have approached him first rather than the other way around. Initially, their behavior appears more curious than aggressive. However, there's a critical moment when the man suddenly speeds up, and one of the wolves immediately charges toward him. That detail matters. Predators often react to sudden movement, and running can trigger a chase instinct. Standing your ground and facing an animal can sometimes appear more threatening, while turning away may make you seem like vulnerable prey. That's why his next decision, turning back toward the wolves and holding his position, may have been the safest option available at that moment. It was still extremely risky, but arguably less dangerous than fleeing, even as people near the camera shouted for him to run. In the end, the National Park Service located the man and issued him a citation for approaching wildlife. What remains unclear is whether that citation was based on something that happened before the recording began, or on the brief moment captured on camera where he does appear to step toward the wolves. There's a significant difference between deliberately approaching wild animals and standing your ground during a defensive encounter, and that distinction is what continues to fuel debate around this footage. Josep Aguilar is a traveler who enjoys exploring the world and capturing wildlife wherever he goes. His goal is to let viewers experience these places through his own perspective. But in one particular video, he captures a moment that perfectly shows just how unpredictable nature can be. What unfolds isn't planned or staged, it's a complete coincidence, both fascinating and genuinely dangerous. As he explains where they are and what they're doing, the situation feels calm and controlled. Nothing seems out of the ordinary.
The day had been long. I was crossing the northern part of Tsavo East National Park, and the light was already starting to fade. Sitting beside me was a park ranger, his rifle resting calmly on his lap. Behind us, another vehicle followed, full of rangers keeping watch. We talked as we drove about the wildlife in the park, the risks that they face, and the dangers that come with protecting them. At one point, I asked him if he had ever been forced to shoot an animal to protect himself or someone else.
Yeah, those elephants, most of the time, are friendly.
He smiled and told me his rifle wasn't loaded with live ammunition. Blanks, he said, were usually enough to keep animals at a safe distance.
Then, without warning, everything changes. Right in front of them, a group of elephants suddenly emerges.
Be careful with that elephant. Yeah, I can see it. It's with the baby, I'm going to reverse.
I started backing up, but the female elephant was closing in
The
fast.
cars are behind.
The second vehicle was too close behind us, and by then it was already too dark for them to see what was happening. They stopped just a few meters back, completely unaware that right in front of us, the situation was escalating fast.
Yeah, I have to make because I know. Well, it was down. Yeah. We go? We go? Yeah, let's go.
The animals begin closing the distance, leaving the ranger with no choice but to fire a warning blank into the air, which successfully scares them away. What makes the moment even more unsettling is the timing. Just minutes earlier, they were discussing how elephants rarely become aggressive, and almost immediately after, they're confronted with a situation that proves the opposite. It's a powerful reminder of how unpredictable life in the wild can be, especially when you're surrounded by large, powerful animals. Rangers are there to protect wildlife, but their first responsibility is always human safety. If they're ever forced to choose between protecting a person or an animal, the person will come first. That's why reckless behavior in these environments is never just a personal risk. If someone puts themselves in danger, it can force rangers to intervene, and an animal could end up injured or worse because of it. In this case, the rangers handled the situation perfectly, and thankfully, no one was hurt. This next video was recorded by a park ranger involved in an operation to capture a tiger in Masinagi, India. This wasn't an ordinary animal. The tiger had already killed 4 people and had officially been declared a man-eater. The footage comes from the middle of a 21-day operation, captured at the exact moment the ranger made visual contact with the tiger, and what follows is genuinely terrifying. You can hear the fear in his voice as his body instinctively reacts. The tiger is dangerously close, and coming face to face with a predator known to attack humans is a nightmare scenario. For a brief moment, the outcome is completely uncertain. Miraculously, the tiger passes right by him. likely trying to escape the other team members involved in the operation. Missions like this are among the most dangerous assignments in wildlife management. You're dealing with an apex predator capable of overpowering a human in seconds, often in terrain where the animal has every advantage. The ranger was fortunate that the tiger was focused on fleeing rather than attacking. In the end, the forest department successfully captured the animal alive, bringing a tense and deadly operation to a close.